to the podcast. I'm your host, Brother Sean Brumfield, and this is Pulpit to the Pew. And today, I've got Brother Jonathan Mitchell.
How's it going, everybody?
What's going on, man?
I love our intro music.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
It's so good. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. What's going on, man?
Life, tons of life right now. I feels like it's like a never-ending roller coaster.
It's like life never ends until it does.
The game of life never really taught me that.
I never understood the game of life.
I may have played it once or twice.
I was a Monopoly guy, but nobody likes to play Monopoly.
Oh, I'm a Monopoly guy.
I love Monopoly.
We should do a live stream Monopoly game.
So you want to do 2 or 3 days? Because that's about how long it takes you to play it, right?
No, I don't. I don't. The way I play don't take that long.
Well, then you don't play it right.
Yeah, dude. I play rough.
No, so you fight.
Play hardball. Yeah,
absolutely. I love Monopoly. It's one of my. It's like my favorite board game. But now that I'm an adult, I kind of understood why my mom didn't like to play it because it's too much like real life.
Yeah,
you play board games to like escape, but Monopoly's like.
Did you ever see like this family that's playing Monopoly? It's a little real, and there's this little boy crying in the corner, and they're like, I think his name's like Jordan. So what's going on, Jordan? I have no money. Why, Jordan? Taxes.
Yeah,
like
there was
I can relate.
I don't think there's like even landing like on a person that owns Boardwalk with a hotel, which is like the highest thing you can pay. There was nothing worse than when you pass go and got your $200 and you landed on the space. It was like you either pay $200 or you pay, I think it's like what, 70% or 10% of whatever you have money wise or whatever it is. I got to the point though where I got old enough where most of the time, like most people are like, they don't want to do the math, so they'll just pay the $200 and forget. Me, I got to the point where I took it so seriously, I would count my money.
Did you use the every dollar count app?
Yep. Pretty much. And I would
Dave Ramsey of Monopoly.
Yeah, pretty much. that was me. I love Monopoly.
I was pretty ruthless. My brother, on the other hand, he would be like, if he would land on my property and like didn't have the money, please, Sean, please let me just get to buy this one time. I'll let you land on me 7 times if you just let me not have to pay you this one time. You're like, bro, there's nothing for me to land on.
I literally own you're the next. Even if you roll a 12, you're landing on something that I own. Let me ask you this, since it's a Monopoly question, riveting content here. What is your favorite thing to own in Monopoly?
I like the Reds.
I like the railroads.
No, I don't really care.
I was a railroad guy through and through. Loved them. No. The light blue, I think it's Continental, Oriental.
I don't
remember names. I remember the blue one, the dark blues, Park Place and Boardwalk.
If I could get the Reds was good. I liked the light blue, getting those.
I just like to own the corners, like the outer corners, like closest to the edges.
Yeah.
I think if you own a corner of the board, talking strategy in Monopoly, wow. No, I loved Monopoly. I couldn't get into Clue. I never played Clue, never played Life. We played Trouble.
I played Trouble.
And then it wasn't like Chinese, it might have been like Chinese checkers, but like
Othello.
I don't know.
The white and blue one?
No, this was multicolored. It was like checker, I don't know. It might have been Chinese checkers.
And the stars, like a show with the star. Yeah, I think that is Chinese checkers.
Yeah, we played that. Trouble was fun. The kids are now that my kids are old enough, they want to play like Hungry Hungry Hippo, which is fun. There's one like Sleepy Granny or whatever, where like you're on a board and there's the granny's asleep on a recliner and she's holding a tray of stuff, and you like land on a thing, and then you get a piece of it, and then you open it, and then you put it or whatever, and then you have to hit, if you land on a specific, you have to hit the button to like wake her up. It was almost, and like if she wakes up, then you lose all your pieces. I don't remember what it's called, but something granny. I don't know. It was fun. The kids love it.
What was you regular checkers too, or?
Yeah, I played regular checkers.
What about chess?
I prefer chess.
Chess is a way better game.
I think chess is way better. I'm not good at it anymore. I actually got pretty good, but I stopped playing because I didn't have anybody that wanted to play with me. So
Yeah,
and if you had an iPhone, we could still play, but you don't have an iPhone. So
just get chess.com app.
oh, that's true. I like chess because it's such a strategic game, and I like thinking and like the strategy portions of it.
Yeah. I love chess. It's one of my favorite games, but I don't ever get to sit down and play. I mean, I showed you my custom board that I have, but like,
We should do that as a fun thing. Just me and you playing chess.
oh yeah, I'm good with that.
I would be down. You'd probably beat me, to be honest, transparently. I was getting to the point though where I was like studying openings and wanting to do openings.
Yeah, I did too.
And all that memory is gone now. I just like, I want to move this piece here and this piece.
Did you have a specific opening that you liked? We're going to make people so bored. We'll have to get off this real quick, but
I don't remember the opening I did.
I like the London.
I like to try and open. I like to try to get my knight moving as quick as possible,
Yeah.
if I remember
The
correctly.
London's good for that too.
Yeah, I think it was a variation of that specifically, but whatever I could do to get like the knight moving around and playing and stuff like that. All right, but now that's enough.
Yeah. So I do have to tell you this. This morning I got up at like 2 something, just rolled over and I looked over at my phone and Google popped up talking about Bigfoot migrations in Ohio.
I told you he's real.
But here's the thing though. How much are we talking about him that now the news that I get from Google is specifically Bigfoot?
It's because he's real. It's not. Normally, I'm with you. Normally, our phones are listening. No, this is just because he's real. Okay. All these people that I am fully on board now that he's real, and I think he's finally like, you know what? I think people need to know. I think we're going to see an actual Bigfoot come out the woodworks and be like, you know what, guys, I've been hiding all these years. Witness me and all my awesome Bigfootness or big feetness.
You think he's gonna do a live interview? Just be like,
It depends on if Jack Links is available. I don't know, man. I think it's so funny, the whole Bigfoot thing. It is really comical, but I will say I am seeing, obviously the phones are listening to our conversations, but I've been seeing a lot more Bigfoot stuff.
dude, every time I even my Facebook feed is becoming nothing but, of course, a lot of people are sending me stuff with that.
Because it's real. I'm telling you guys, he's real. And you know what? I think I'm back. I think the Loch Ness Monster is real. I think.
Why?
I don't know.
The guy who did 50 years worth of research was like, nah, that's not.
I think that guy found him and doesn't want anybody to know.
Really?
I think he found it and he's like, you know what? I'm going to take this with me to my grave. Me and the big man above know, but nobody else does. Because how cool would that be? Let me ask you a question. If you found a crazy secret like Area 51 or Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster or a non-crazy Florida man, would you want to, if you were the only person, you found it, would you want to tell everyone, or would you like the fact of I'm the only one that really knows?
I think I would want credit for it.
See, I don't know. Sometimes knowledge is power, and having knowledge that no one else does, I think, would be pretty enticing.
I don't know. I would want to be accredited for it. I would want everybody, because
you want your name. You want your name up in lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, the monetary. If you take the monetary factor in it, yeah, you'd be kind of silly not to.
I mean,
let me ask this to our viewers and listeners, a call to action, we would say. If you found out something that no one else knew, would you want to tell everybody, or would you not? Would you keep it to yourself? I'm curious, because that's a good question, actually. I think, for me anyways.
I just think it's crazy. We started talking about it, and now all these random things, we got tagged in a post that Brother Ryan's wife, Sister Becca, put up, and it's from the New York Post. And
these are crazy news sources too.
Yeah. Says fears of mysterious beast spread in Ohio after locals record eerie howls and enormous footprints. I mean, it's got a picture of Bigfoot.
It's fake. Yeah, it's the iconic black and white one.
Yeah. So it's did we just happen to get on this train as it's going crazy? It starts to
maybe
go
we
wild.
just saw it coming before anyone else did.
So we are.
Maybe we spoke it.
We have trend sight. That's what I'm gonna call it. Anyways, I don't know what the actual word would that be.
Foresight would probably be.
No. Foresight is seeing something coming, but I think if it's a modern trend, then we got trend sight. Yeah. Are you disagreeing with me, or
No, I'm with you.
you just think it sounds weird? It's a weird term. Sounds what? Just say it.
Sounds like trans.
No,
We have trans sight.
no, we don't. Although we see a lot of that in Ohio. Maybe that is Bigfoot.
It's just a bear that identifies as Bigfoot. A bear just realized, you know what? I don't want to be a bear anymore. I want to be Bigfoot.
Where'd you get that from? Trans?
You trend sight.
Yeah.
Transvestite.
Yeah, I get that, but like, where'd you get bear from?
It's similar stature. They're both big, hairy. Bears can stand on hind legs.
It's identity. It's changing its identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is crazy. That would be wild.
We're off the rails.
That would be wild.
So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The Bigfoot thing, I think, is so interesting because there is so much legitimate interest in Bigfoot and like that whole thing. Like, I know we've covered this at length extensively, but like,
Why is it that every photo,
he looks the same?
well, it comes from like a terrible camera. Every single one of them is.
Because everybody that looks for Bigfoot's too poor because they're too busy looking for Bigfoot.
They don't know how to do jobs or nothing.
Yeah, they're
kind of.
they can't afford the Kodak, like the camera that you'd roll like that.
That's what it looks like it came out of.
Exactly.
That would be an even better camera than what they have now. I mean,
You know what's interesting though? Like you think about, like I was looking at old YouTube videos that I used to watch when I was a teenager, and I'm like, how did I watch this? Because the video looks so pixelated and so bad. But if I put myself back in those times, it's like, man, this quality is so awesome. It's good. But now I'm like, it looks horrible.
yeah. You know what they say though, is that video is pretty important, but they say if your sound's not good, that you'll turn it off before the bat. Like if you can hear it good and they're explaining something right, like you'll stick out whether they had like compared to a high quality video and terrible sound.
I think sound's important. Well, because with like visual, it's just your eyes. But like if it's bad audio, it goes directly basically to your brain.
Like there's,
I think one of the things I've been proud of with us is like ever since we started, I think we've had a pretty good sound. Like I think we've sounded really good, which I give you a ton of credit for on that one. You put a lot of research and effort into it. But I just think, because believe it or not, most of the time if I play a video, like I don't even watch the video. If I'm mowing the yard, or like if I have work I'm doing and I can actually take a second, like I'm not looking at the video, but I can put it down and I can just listen. If it's got bad audio quality, like I'm not going to listen to it.
yeah.
I don't care what the video looks like because most of the time I don't get a chance to look at it anyway.
There's a lot of things that I've listened to or I've tried to listen to, and like I can get over some visual things that like don't look perfect. I mean, like, although I will say that was one of the things that set me off when we were doing video, was it was really hard to get it to look nice, which we've got to get back on that. You know, I'm sorry guys. I know I promised at the beginning of the year I was going to do better, and I just have not been any better. But
to be fair, like you've had so much transition.
Oh yeah.
And one of the cool things that I think the video, like us with what we're doing and like where we're going to be moving the podcast setup to, I think that's going to open it up more for video. Because it's hard with because we were using multiple cameras and trying to get the angles correct.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, where I think that the new setup is going to be the way kind of we're talking about spitballing, you'll be able to use one camera.
Yeah, hopefully.
And like I think that'll be easier to try and get, because you were using two different cameras.
Yeah.
And I've never done any of the editing. I've wanted to sit down and watch you do it with the video. How hard is it to with the synchronization of the video and audio, synchronizing and making sure? Because the one thing I will say that gets on my nerves is if I'm watching a video and the audio is off sync from what I'm hearing in the video. It drives me up a wall.
It's not too hard with the programs that we have, because you just number one, all our audio is recorded twice, right? So, I can't get to all the crazy specifics because I don't want to stay on it too long about us, just talking about us. But like when I record, both the cameras go to a computer and then our audio from the board goes to the computer. So it's already synced and recording.
Okay, got it. Got it.
The hard part though is when you have two videos going and you accidentally hit the delete button and you lose
Half your footage.
well, not even the footage itself, but like you lose everything you've already edited.
Okay, got it.
That's infuriating
Got it. I'm assuming you're speaking from experience.
a couple times.
So, Sean, I gotta ask. So before we started, I brought a treat today,
Yes, you did.
and I made a big statement. Now, I don't know how, like, we're in the United States, how big this restaurant is. I'm assuming it's like all over the country,
I think it is.
but I went to, Sean has never been to it's a Tex-Mex place called Chewy's. And they have a jalapeno ranch dip that they have with the chips. And I spoke very highly of this dip to Sean. I said it might be the best dip you can get at a restaurant. And now we're on the podcast. Now that you've tried it, do you rank it as highly as I stated?
It's pretty good. I don't know if I would say it's my favorite dip, simply because of I'd have to compare them side by side.
What things would you want to compare it to off the top of your head?
Well, there's really not that many cold dips. You know what I mean? When you really think about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's salsa
I don't like salsa that much.
and then chip dip. Chip dip would be pretty hard to.
I think it's better than any chip dip. It's so.
I don't know. I just would just. It's like super good.
So you were thinking specifically with cold dips. I was talking just in general, even compared to like hot.
Oh,
Like even like so
I have to tell you, I'm a pretty heavy queso fan.
El Toro queso is probably the only thing that comes to my mind that would be close.
Oh, I don't know. Chili's has got some pretty good salsa too. I know you don't like the salsa, but yeah.
I love food so much. I love food so much, man.
But I'm picky when it comes to my queso. Like Chipotle queso, I don't really.
I
care
can't.
for
I don't
chips.
like the chunks. If your case, like I can do it, but I don't like the chunks in my queso.
I mean, it's
So
like
like
salsa to me. So I mean,
It's the
salsa
queso
chunks.
blanca or whatever it's called.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Hothead's got good queso.
I
You don't like Hothead though.
think Hotheads is nasty.
I think this is an Ohio thing. I don't think they're really out. I don't know if they're out anywhere else, but I like sauces. So like the Hothead, I think Hothead, but if you're like talking ingredients, I think Chipotle is better, but I like the sauces. So I like to go to Hothead instead.
To me, food wise, Hotheads is like its meat is watered down. It's so watery, and I don't like that. Like it's not juicy. It's literally water.
It just tastes like water.
Like it's It doesn't have that.
That's why you get the sauces though, because it covers
Yeah,
up the bad taste.
But then again, that's kind of like Cane's. Like
We're not getting back in the I had Chick-fil-A the other day for the first time in several months, and I had a heavenly experience. It was so good. My love for Chick-fil-A has reignited,
oh yeah,
and I'm back on the train of we need to ban you.
It's
and
not an
Ryan.
old flame anymore.
Me and we need to ban you and Ryan from giving chicken sandwich takes because you think it's not that good. I didn't say you said it was bad, but I don't want to misquote you or Brother Ryan, but I know you said it's not bad, but it's just not good. I think it's great. I think it's the best. It's so good.
Well, I wasn't even gonna compare the rest of the chicken. I was just gonna say, like to me, Cane's chicken isn't that great,
I think Cane's
but the
chicken's
sauce is good.
bad.
Yeah, I'm not going to Cane's expecting flavorful chicken. I'm going there for the sauce.
Yeah, but that's been my ultimate argument with Raising Cane's is if you're going there for the sauce, the food's not that good.
But I feel that way about Hotheads.
That's fine. I could agree with you there.
But I will say there's more and more places that are popping up that are like Chipotle and Hotheads.
So
you
there's a place that some of my coworkers were talking about today that's like Chipotle that's better. Moe's, is it called Moe's? I think it's like a similar style to Chipotle, but it's better.
I don't know. I've never had it.
They said it's better, and I've never had it. Now I want to try it because
I've heard of
hold on, let me.
Bubba Q's burritos,
Never heard of that.
and I've heard people like it, and I've heard people dislike it in the same take. So
It says it's like Moe's Southwest Grill, I think is what it is. It's like
I can see the logo in my head.
See, if I look at this though, it doesn't look that great. Their app is not very well preserved, but I don't know. I've been on a big, like, you know what's really been I've been craving when it comes to fast food, and everybody's going to think I'm Burger King. I have been on a Burger King fiend. Bacon double cheeseburger, Bacon King, doesn't matter. I want their burger.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it before. I do enjoy a good Whopper, but Burger King is not my first place that I want.
Normally it's not for me, but it's pretty good.
I have been on the chicken snack wrap from the snack wrap from McDonald's.
I like
so
it.
Good.
I like it, but it just doesn't remind me of the old one. I think the old one was better.
I can't ever say that I really know or can recall what the old one tastes like. To me, it tastes like a chicken twister wrap from KFC from like the early 2000s, and that's why I go back and get it, because that KFC hasn't brought that thing back forever.
KFC's got some underrated food besides
The bowl.
Their bowl is so good. Get the corn out of it.
So good. I'm sure we've talked about this before, but when you go to eat and you got like a meal like that, that's kind of would be considered sloppy. Like, do you mix stuff together?
Yeah.
Like, to me, corn just belongs in mashed potatoes.
I don't like the corn though. I get the corn out. I don't get to eat. I don't eat the corn.
I don't know if we could talk anymore after that.
I don't like corn. I just don't.
Dude, that's crazy.
So I don't. I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's weird. I know it's weird, but like I can't help it. I just don't like it. I think it's a texture.
I don't like kernels.
I think it's a texture thing with me with corn. It's same with peas. I don't.
Yeah, I can't do peas.
Or like
it's crisp on the outside but mushy on the inside.
That's what I'm saying. Even with corn, I don't like. That's why I don't like corn. I like popcorn,
but I feel like corn, like it, like just like when you bite into it.
That's what I don't like. I don't
like that.
I don't like that.
But when you bite into a pea, it's just like it's just like paste.
I love that everything you just did. I totally agree with. Every sound you just made speaks to it perfectly. I'm not a corn guy. I just don't like it. But the bowl, their gravy, their brown gravy KFC is chef's kiss. Great.
Their coleslaw's good too. You don't like their coleslaw?
I don't like.
Do you like their green beans?
No. I don't like anything green.
So you just get mashed potatoes, gravy,
popcorn
chicken. That's it, and a little bit of cheese
and the cheese. Yeah, absolutely. It's so good.
Yeah. We agree on so many things, but when it comes to food, we're like complete opposites.
I know. I'm opposite of a lot. My food takes are generally probably the most disagreeable thing about me, I would say. I think for the most part, my takes on and my look on food is probably the most disagreeable thing about me.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Because like I'm pretty
like the Waffle House, dude.
I brought that up today.
Did you really?
We brought because they
at work.
Yeah, the team building thing that we were doing for our group. Oh. We had to fill out a form of like it's like the most generic like what's your favorite this, what's your favorite that, what's a fun fact about you. And I said, I record a podcast with two of my best friends is what I said was my fun fact about me. And they were asking me questions like, what's it about? And I kind of gave them like, we're ministers. We joke, we err on the side of we err on the serious, but we joke a lot. And I said, the primary joke is like Bigfoot. And I give a lot of crazy things. Like I don't like Waffle House. And they're like, so you're never going to do numbers in the South. Is what they said. They all looked at me. They're all not. They're more like there's nothing better at than Waffle House at 2 or 3 in the morning. When
they're drunk and all that. Yeah.
But which, like I said, whatever. I try to shine my light the best I can. But they were like, you don't like Waffle House? I'm like, it's not that I don't like it. I just don't prefer it.
So let's go back a little bit here.
Okay. We're throwing back to the original.
Do you have a hard time explaining our show to people?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Somebody at church stopped me Sunday and was like, Brother Sean, I was like, yeah. Oh, excuse me. Goodness gracious, monster's getting me. said, "Where did you get your name from?" I was like, "Well, we just trying to like show people that everybody in the church is similar from the pulpit to the pew." And I said, "Unfortunately, most of the time, us on the podcast end up sitting in the pew a lot of the times from the show." So I get, this would be a cool interaction with our listeners. Is like if you can give us a great description on what you would, put in for our show so that we can share that. Cause like, I think we have a good thing going here, and it gets off the rails sometimes,
but that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
That's why I like the recording sessions are so much fun for me. Cause I never really know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And like, I love the serious episodes a lot. I think in a way, I think sometimes I wish we could do them a little bit more, but the problem is I have a lot more, like I learn a lot more with the serious stuff, but I have more fun with the joking stuff.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, which is like the most common thing, but literally I think the best, like I'm going to give my description and then you give yours and see how they correlate.
Okay, go ahead.
So the way I kind of, like I said, the way I described it to my coworkers, it was like, it's me and like my two of my best minister friends. And we cover serious topics and we cover fun topics. And to be honest, I really do think we're like an ADD podcast. I really think, because like I said, the viewers never know where we're going to go. And the reason that is, we never know where we're going to go.
Yeah.
There's been a couple times here, like the Judas thing, like the Judas episode, that was almost like a month or so ago now, probably longer than that. Time flies. But like, there's some times where we're going to talk about this. Let's talk about this. Or our interviews. The interviews I think are really cool, but I think I think it's three ministers that are lighthearted. It's three ministers that are lighthearted, that cover serious topics when we feel it necessary, and just like to have fun and spend time together. And like I said in the beginning, when we were like getting the comments and feedbacks, it's like, you guys feel like you as a listener should be able to feel like you're part of our conversation. Like if we can get you talking during the recording, I think we've done our job.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I described it.
Yeah. I mean, I tell people that it's kind of, obviously tell them as me, you and Ryan, or probably the better way to say it is Ryan, you and I. It's probably the more correct word of saying that. And that we sit around and we just talk about life, really. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we talk about is just
things that are going on with us.
Things that happen with us and people listen. But, that we do typically stay on the more humorous side of things. And every once in a while we do talk about more serious stuff. But that it's really just wanting people to feel that we are relatable as ministers and that we go through the same things and that, it's like we're fellowshipping together. And really the idea was to just, like if you're sitting in a fellowship hall, you just come pull up a seat and jump in mid conversation and, be a part of it.
And I think that's really where the name really did come from. It's like, because we've all been there after church and we all sather. I was mixing gather and sit. So sather. It's where you kind of, the service has been over for 30 minutes, but you don't realize it because you just sat down in a pew talking with everybody.
Yeah.
We do it all the time at church, where service, like on a Wednesday night or a Sunday night, we'll go Sunday night for the people that listen at my church, because they're like, you don't ever show up for Wednesdays.
I was working, man.
That's pretty much it. But with Sunday night, say service ends at like 7:30. There's been times where I didn't leave the church until like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that's just because I've sat down with my pastor or with other members of the church and we just talk. And it's very similar. Like literally very recently, there was a conversation between me and another person that we started out joking. And then part of the conversation ended up with basically both me and a brother in tears because of an emotional situation that I was giving them encouragement. They were encouraging me. It was just an uplifting thing. But that was like a perfect symbolism of what I think we try to do.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, we don't really mix into the serious stuff a lot, but like the lighthearted laughing portion is where I think we fit really well.
Yeah, I think the thing is that with life as crazy as it is, sometimes it's easy to feel like just overwhelmed with everything that's going on and feel like you got to play a certain character in order to be a part of God's game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that if you don't hit this mold perfectly, that there's no way that you could live the way that he wants you to, which, I mean, yeah, there's requirements and things that we have to mark up to, but at the end of the day, I mean, God made us who we are. I mean, there's personality things that he needs to work with us on and to get rid of, because,
some of that personality's flesh.
Well, depending on how you grew up, sometimes I can remember comedy being something completely different. And it was because the comedy was somebody was at the butt end of a joke, and in order to be funny, you had to be able to pick on an insecurity or something of that nature. Whereas to me, I feel like the funniest things in life is like when you tell a story or an instance that everybody else has been in too.
Yeah, that and that relatability.
Like when a comedian gets up and he's talking about, going through the drive-through and there's a teenager on the other end and they're like, "We're going to buy some fries, some hamburger," and you're like, "Oh, I just sat and listened to a guy today ordering my Big Mac or my Whopper," and that's like the stuff that hits home when you get into those.
And I think what makes a great comedian is like the ability to tell a story. One of my favorite bits. Now, some people don't think he's that funny, but there are certain bits that he's done. Mark Lowry.
Yeah.
There's a certain bit he did this, and it's old, but like when Mom Had Enough.
Yeah.
The way he tells that story and how he paints the picture is hilarious.
Yeah.
And he didn't tear anybody down doing that. It was that's the part. And for me, like, I wasn't always a Christian. I think I've made that pretty clear. My humor, the way I developed my humor, it was in a lot of not great places.
Yeah.
Right. Like I didn't have a clean sense of humor when I got saved. And that's something that God has had to work on me through and pull me out of. And I realized that you don't have to be vulgar to be funny. You don't have to make fun of people to be funny. You don't have to like tear people down to be funny. Now, like I said, when you riff a little bit and you joke with like your friends,
yeah,
that's one thing. But like you said, I've been there where like you intentionally like hit somebody's insecurity, like something like say I told like for you, I'd pick on you for something you told me and like
and confidence,
and I like just roast you about that.
Oh
like,
yeah,
that doesn't do anything. That's just mean.
Yeah,
there's not really anything funny about it.
Well, I think there's a difference between, when we are, I'm trying to think what the right word is as far as like when we're joking with each other about each other's like specific qualities. Like there's just some things like us talking with making fun of Brother Ryan because of the way he talks, and then it just so happens that starts rubbing off on me that I can't talk.
Neither one of us can talk.
And that's another thing about our show is we just don't know how to talk. We can't spec. So so compared to like somebody who absolutely can't control how they talk.
Yeah.
Versus like somebody tongue tied or like speech impediments and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think is true.
Or like
because it looks like bullying at that point. It turns into a little bit of a bullying. And I think that is, I don't think you want to be that. You want to be looked in that light. I don't think God looks at that.
A laugh at somebody's expense. Like, I'm not talking about like your buddy falls and you just start laughing and he like dumps all his chicken nuggets on the floor. Right. I mean, that's hilarious. I want to make sure you're okay. And then I'm going to laugh. And honestly, I might ask you while laughing, you okay, dude?
Remind me to tell you a story in a second, specifically about dropping chicken nuggets.
Okay.
And I will, but continue on the serious train and then I'll.
So like, yeah, the cost of somebody's, believe it or not, no matter what we say, people go home and think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If if you were to make fun of my weight as a joke, there still might be a time that I might sit back and think of, man, Jonathan really thinks I'm fat.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I think that. I mean, there's things that like we can get away with because we know how each other are. But like to me, I don't really care if anybody thinks I'm fat. I know I'm fat. You know what I mean?
Same.
I'm going to be the first one to rip off that joke.
Yeah, same. Absolutely.
So, but like if you were to say that to somebody else that it really is an insecurity,
Yeah.
and they start thinking about it, well, you've already started a battleground inside the mind.
And then it just turns into escalate because it can escalate. Because if you touch on an insecurity, most of the time there's going to be somebody, because your natural fleshly instinct is like, I'm going to retaliate and I'm going to hit you on one of your insecurities. And then it turns into a rip fest, and it's like, oh, that was because like people tend to act like they're thick skinned, which I think like for you and me, we are thick skinned.
Yeah.
Like I think, I'm not saying that we're overly sensitive, but there's been times like where it didn't bother me, but like the fact that I gave it a second thought means it probably did. It kind of like bothered me.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like me and you specifically, but like fairly recently it happened like with me and you both.
Yeah.
And it was like, it didn't bother me. I meant it when I told the person it didn't bother me, but on the way home, I was like, man, like
maybe I shouldn't have said that, or they shouldn't have said that to me.
Like it did, like, oh, it made me reevaluate something about myself. And it's like, did I do it did this wrong or did that wrong or whatever? And it's like, maybe it did bother me. Right. So like, it doesn't bother you. Like it does. Like, I'm not one that holds a grudge. And to be honest, a lot of times what I've done is if somebody gets picked on in front of me, I generally try to bring the attention to me. I'm very self-deprecating. Like I make a lot of jokes about myself. It's one of the things that I've always done. Cause I don't, like I said, for me, it's like a jester type thing. It's like, I'm going to bring the attention off of something bad. I want you to look at me and laugh at me. Haha, I'm funny, whatever. So, but just because somebody's self-deprecating doesn't always mean that it's like, okay.
Yeah. But sometimes anyone who has insecurities and jokes on themselves that hard sometimes, or for the most part, is trying to hit that joke before somebody else does.
Yeah, I think it's a defense mechanism, and I've been there.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, and I couldn't think of the word. That it's when you get into a place where all you can do is you want to make people laugh, but you make yourself the joke. It's because I don't want anybody to talk about it but me.
Yeah,
don't touch that. That's mine. Yeah, and if I do friendly fire on myself, then there's nothing for you to. You have nothing. You're just building on top of. Yeah, you can't. Nothing you can do. I can speak to that personally. Absolutely. I've done it. I've been that. That's like I said, if I make fun of myself or I make myself the butt end of the joke, you can't do it. Yeah. And I'd much rather me do it than you do it. Because like you said, because it's self-deprecating, but it's also self-preserving. Yeah. And it's not a healthy self-preservation either. Yeah. And the thing I think with it is also like, if you don't want the other person to perceive it, but you automatically think it's a perception. Yeah. And if they make fun of it, it's like, oh, I really am this. I used to do that in high school. And looking back, I really wasn't that big in high school. But I kept telling, I would make the joke, oh man, I'm just so fat. And then people were like, you're not really. And there is certain aspects of that where sometimes people do it to fish for like that. Like, yeah, and to be honest, it probably was. I was already. You wanted that gratification of somebody saying, "No, you're not." I mean, I was already feeling low about it, but then like, well, now if I could look at high school me, could look at me now, I'd be like, that guy is humongous. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then I'd be looking at him and be like, that's a good looking dude. You know what I mean? I'll be walking around going, how you doing? Yeah, that's true. I mean, and like I said, I think it's a mixture of all of those things though. I think when you're self-deprecation, like in the self-deprecating jokes about yourself, I think some of that is true. Like there's an aspect of you do it so nobody else will do it. You do it because you're fishing for kind of like you want like, no, you're not. You want that. You want your ego petted a little bit. And then I think the main thing is like a perception thing. You don't want people to perceive that. So, but even though you put on the perception that you are that, it's like reverse psychology. Like if I say, haha, I'm fat, haha,
maybe you don't think I am. And
Yeah.
now it's like, no, you're not. And then
Let me just test this out and see what people really think about me.
yeah, you throw it out there, and
Yeah.
because it's just all mental. Like the mind is such a wonderful, disastrous thing.
Yeah. Because it could either go the other way too. A lot of people that pick on others don't want people to see their.
Well, it's like the typical, like the
bully.
reason why the bully bullies you is because they're insecure about,
Or they're being bullied.
or they have something wrong with their life that they.
Yeah. One of the biggest things that I've ever that's been an influence in the way that I perceive others is growing up. Our senior Sunday school teacher for our senior class was Sister Mary Hampton, and one of the words or phrases that she said will ever ring true in my mind is that hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like when people start bullying, they like self-project their
pain.
onto somebody else.
Well, it's also the same adage: misery loves company.
Yeah.
If I'm miserable and I see everybody else is happy, I want to make everybody else miserable because I'm miserable.
Yeah.
So we can all be in misery together.
Isn't that something that you would rather? Because either way, I mean, like, if you're miserable, you're alone. Making other people miserable, you're still alone.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, that's just a weird phrase to say. Misery loves company,
but it's true.
because really, misery is contagious.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's why, like, in my time, like, I've been around miserable people and I've been miserable because of it. And then there's been times where I've been miserable and wanted to be around. I like, you also look for kind of that, but most of the time, if I'm miserable and I'm in a miserable place, I try to get around happy people.
Yeah.
Not to, which it may seem like I'm trying to drag them down, but no, I'm trying to hopefully like get that, like,
Yeah.
Hopefully-
They'll rub off on me with
like
it.
some of the happiness on me.
Or they'll say something that'll make me. Well, because like how many times have you like genuinely have been just like upset during a day, or it's been a terrible morning, and then somebody comes in and like does something stupid, and it like totally.
Oh.
I mean, like, not like, I don't mean stupid as in like they're stupid, but I mean like they did something that was stupid funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, slapstick is like some of my favorite kind of
Yeah.
comedy. Like, it's just so
Like
it's so-
airplane food. What's the deal with that? Like
stuff like that. Yeah, something that's just like idiotic that shouldn't make any sense, but it's funny.
Well, you like, there's been times where my day's been bad, and then you sent me a message of a Facebook reel that you sent me. It's like, and I instantly start dying laughing, and it's like that. I needed that. Like, I needed that joke.
And I think that's something too. Is that like I'm. Well, we both are kind of bad when it comes to like communication, as far as like just on a whim of doing something. You
I'm
know
the
what I
worst
mean?
texter ever.
Well, I'm not. I wouldn't say that. I'm just putting us in at the same group and just say that.
Thank you.
That we have a. Sometimes he doesn't message back, y'all, and it might be a day or two.
But I get to it eventually.
Yeah, eventually. But by then the fun's gone. No, I'm just kidding.
But you have to admit though, if you call,
Oh yeah, if I call for the most part, yeah.
I'm answering it.
And if not, you'll get a call within 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm big.
Yeah.
I hate texting. I hate it.
But
I'm an old man.
But my point in that is that how easy it is for us to just kind of stay in our own little world, rather than I really believe the Lord wants us to be a community. Excuse me, and reach out to people who, like, you know, just be friendly. You know, the Bible. It's kind of back on to what we said last week about friendship, but like just going out and just messaging somebody just to be courteous. You know, there's a thing. I started a new job where we do this thing called stewardship. And what you do is the business that you already have, you go out and you visit them to maintain
The relationship.
Yeah. So I wonder how neglected sometimes we are in stewardship to one another.
I think that's a huge, and I think part of the reason why we struggle so much is because if you don't believe the same way that I believe, we can't fellowship, right? Like, and not saying that just in like, or if we don't see eye to eye on something, you may go avoid me, right?
I don't know, but I'm just talking about like, and just like,
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm not even talking like fellowship. I'm just talking about like
you were talking about like hurt people.
Yeah.
One of the things that I try to do in every situation, and in my job, and being in the banking industry, I see like one person could be poor, broke, and losing their home, and then the next person could be like, hey, I need to invest a large sum of money. Where do I need to allocate it? Right. So it's like a complete 180 flip from person to person. But one thing that I do, I treat every single, it doesn't matter how, like one thing I've done mentally is like, I don't care how much money's in your bank account. I'm going to treat you the same identical way.
Yeah. You're an individual.
Yeah. You're a person. So you're more than your money. So, but on a broader spectrum, that's one of God's creatures. God loves them. So what do I need to, and like, I'm not even trying to be like uber spiritual.
Yeah.
It's just that simple thought. Like,
well, I think, and I wasn't even going that far. I'm just saying, how often is it overlooked for friends to just go to one another and just say, "How are you doing?" And, well, I'm just no. I'm not. I don't really mean how was your day. I'm just checking.
How are you doing?
Are you making it throughout the day? Are you able to? Where's your headspace at?
I think you and me, and I will say, like, that's a strong point of our relationship, like where we do a good job. I think you're better at it than I am, but like for me, it's like I'm scared. I'm just a bad communicator, just as a whole.
Well, I think us as a show, as far as like being friends, the three of us, I think we do pretty well trying to stay connected with one another. I mean, obviously I have to with Ryan because he's my pastor too.
Well, I even like there,
but
there's been plenty of times where I've messaged Ryan separately, like, "Hey man, like thank you," or I've confided in him too.
That's the thing too is the independency amongst friendship. I mean, it takes two people to be friends and to maintain that.
Well, it's like your relationship with God.
Yeah,
I mean, if you don't pray or read a Bible, like,
you're not going to be friends very long.
You're not going to be friends very long.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for constant communication piece is huge. Like, I think that's such a big, important thing. Like, and obviously rift with your friends. I mean, I'm not going to not, like, if something's funny, you do something funny, I'm going to laugh about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and if I do something funny, I want you to laugh about it because we can laugh together. So I'm not saying like, everything has to be this big, deep existential. I don't think you're saying that either, but like sometimes it doesn't, like if you truly care about somebody, like I said, extend that hand of like,
I think just if we all just reevaluated some of the things that we would consider, I think sometimes reevaluate how we get along and communicate with one another. Because sometimes what we view as comedy really isn't comedy. It's
hurting somebody.
It's bullying.
Yeah, it's hurting somebody.
You're
And I think that's a good evaluation and a good situation of that.
And here's the thing though too, is that until you like can see what's happening with the way that you're communicating, you're doing it subconsciously, like picking on people and just really thinking that it's a joke.
But you don't,
that's but you don't see
you have to list those boundaries.
Yeah.
Because I think like that's if you can look at somebody, like I said, you and me have had, like, I wouldn't, like, uncomfortable is the only word that comes to mind, but like stuff that's been like tough to talk about, like somebody, like, if you weren't a true friend of mine, I don't think I could have had that conversation with you and us remain like. There's people in my life that
conversations of confidence.
Yeah. Well, even like tough conversations, like where I'm bringing up a genuine concern I have. It's called like friendships that I had that I thought were strong.
Yeah.
I've brought up something that I was seeing or noticing and trying to help, or they can fight, and it's not even like joking, but like a serious conversation where that build a gap.
That conversation isn't necessarily sacred.
Yeah. So like for me and you, like in a situation like where I know, like if I did something that upset you, you would tell me. And if you do something to me, I will tell you.
Yeah.
I think that's such a, like, if you have a friend that you can literally, like if you have a ought or like a concern and you can still be like best friends and laugh, and within 5 minutes of a tough conversation, that's a real friend. Yeah. That's a true 100%. Friend. That's a true friend. So like, understand that, like, I know last week we were like, try and be friends with everybody, but then like, and you should try to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
But your inner circle, the circle that you keep of closeness, a lot of times that circle's small.
It's a very elite few.
It's a very elite few, but like, every once in a while, if you notice something's off, ask him, and like, don't just accept, I'm fine, everything's fine. Don't like,
fine's not a good answer to me. Cause when you say fine, it's kind of like
there's an open door somewhere.
To me, fine is like, 80% good, 20% not. There's
It's a 20,
something-
and the 20% is bad.
yeah, and it's typically something that's pretty
It's
pretty
heavy.
stressful.
It's weighing heavy. But I think, like I said, obviously riff with your friends, joke with your friends, have those relationships of fun and joking. But like, if you think you're bullying somebody, you probably are.
Yeah. So
Like, if you feel like you're bullying somebody,
you are.
you probably
yeah,
are.
you probably are. So not to close out on serious, but you want to tell me your chicken nugget,
So,
and then we'll close it out.
on a lighthearted note,
Give some people a fresh breath of air.
it's ironic that you said spilling chicken nuggets.
How long ago is this? Long time ago.
1920, and I'm 33. So you're talking like 13 years ago.
Yes.
Jared, my cousin, who I've talked about a lot, we had went to church, and my cousin Katie and Emily at the time, we were all hanging out or whatever, and we went to McDonald's. We had all went to Spalding Road, and there's a McDonald's around there, and we went. And it was like 11 o'clock at night. So like this is pre-COVID, obviously. This is pre-COVID. Lobby's open all night, whatever. So it wasn't like I was being that guy that's like, I know your lobby closes at 10. I'm here at 9, I'm here at 9:45. I'm going to hang out for like ever. No, it wasn't like that. But I had ordered a 10-piece nugget. My normal McDonald's order, which I think I've said on the podcast, it's a lot. But I had ordered my order.
Yeah.
And they gave it to you on a tray. I had my tray and I had my cup. This is when they handed you the cup when you got your meal. And you know the like lunch tray style that they had at McDonald's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you could set your tray of food on. I wasn't thinking. And my tray was not all the way on the slide thing.
Yeah.
And I filled my large Coke up and I set it on the side that was dangling. And my nuggets, drink, fries, burger, all on the ground. Just, and
He had a ball, didn't he?
no, he didn't. He laughed at what the employee said. We were in a suburban area, or no, not an urban area.
Yeah.
And the guy from behind the McDonald's counter said, he done spilled his whole food and nuggets on the ground.
His whole food in.
And I'm just I'm stun locked. I'm a deer in headlights because I'm just standing there. Nuggets, Coke, fries everywhere on the mat right below it. And they just exclaim like, he done spilled his whole tray and nuggets.
Wow.
And Jared to this day will bring that up and say, why didn't you put your cup on the right side? It's like, I just wasn't thinking. But that is such a core memory that I'm going to talk to him about and see. I know he'll remember it, but we haven't talked about it in a while. But he literally it echoed through the whole McDonald's lobby. He done spilled his whole tray and nuggets.
It kind of reminds me think of, he needs some milk.
And and for those that they made me a whole nother tray. They were really nice, super good people there. But it was just like, how stupid are you, Jonathan, you moron, that you would put your full drink on a tray, not all the way held down by the tray. So guess what? I done spilled my whole tray and nuggets, but I got them back.
I've done that a time or two in my life. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in with us. Please, leave a like, comment. Let us know how you describe the show to everybody else. And it might just make it on the new description on the, whatever app you're listening to. I always forget what that's called. Every time I go to mention it, it's always like messed up.
Spotify, YouTube,
Yeah, whatever.
everything.
Typically Apple Podcasts is what everybody's listening on. So, but we'll talk to you guys next week. See ya.
See you guys.